Sherlock Holmes sat at his cluttered desk, lost in thought. The room was filled with the scent of tobacco and the soft glow of the flickering fireplace. Dr. John Watson, his faithful companion, entered the room, his presence snapping Holmes back to reality. "Watson, I fear there's a storm brewing in the criminal underworld," Holmes remarked, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Watson raised an eyebrow. "What has caught your attention this time, Holmes?" Holmes leaned forward, resting his hands on the desk. "There have been reports of a new and elusive figure emerging in the city. They call them the Vanishing Villain, a master of disguise and escape, leaving authorities confounded at every turn." Watson's curiosity piqued as he settled into a nearby armchair. "Tell me more, Holmes. What has this villain done to earn such a reputation?" Holmes retrieved a stack of newspaper clippings from his desk, his fingers deftly sifting through the articles. Their first recorded act was the theft of the crown jewels from the Tower of London. The jewels were on display during a grand exhibition, yet somehow the vanishing villain managed to swipe them from under the noses of countless guards and high-security systems. They left no trace, no witnesses, and seemingly vanished into thin air. Watson shook his head in disbelief. "That sounds like the work of a magician rather than a criminal. How can one person evade capture so effortlessly?" Holmes smirked, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "That, my dear Watson, is precisely the question we must answer. The Vanishing Villain is a master manipulator, a master of disguise, and an expert in misdirection. They toy with the minds of their pursuers and leave the authorities grasping at shadows." Watson leaned forward, captivated by the enigma that lay before them. "What do you propose we do, Holmes?" Holmes rose from his chair, striding across the room with purpose. "We shall delve into the depths of this case, Watson. We must understand the mind of the Vanishing Villain, their motivations and their methods. We shall become their shadows, following their every move until we can shed light on their dark deeds." The next morning, Holmes and Watson found themselves at Scotland Yard, perusing through case files and speaking with inspectors who had encountered the Vanishing Villain. The evidence was scarce, and witnesses were few, but Holmes knew that even the smallest detail could hold the key to unravelling the mystery. As they studied the files, Holmes noticed a recurring pattern. "Watson, take a look at these testimonies. The witnesses describe a sudden gust of cold air just before the Vanishing Villain vanished from sight." Watson furrowed his brow, studying the accounts. "Do you think there's a scientific explanation for this phenomenon, Holmes?" Holmes paced the room, his mind working through the possibilities. "There may very well be, Watson. The cold gust of air could be a diversion, distracting the observer while the Vanishing Villain slips away unnoticed. We must investigate further." Armed with newfound insight, Holmes and Watson embarked on a series of interviews with witnesses and experts in various fields. They sought to uncover any connections between the chilling gusts of air and the Vanishing Villain's disappearances. Days turned into weeks as they followed a trail of seemingly unrelated clues. Until one evening, Holmes received an urgent message. "Scotland Yard has just informed me of a potential sighting, Watson," Holmes exclaimed, a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. "The Vanishing Villain?" Holmes and Watson hurriedly made their way to Scotland Yard, their minds buzzing with anticipation. The potential sighting of the Vanishing Villain had sparked a renewed energy within them. As they entered the bustling headquarters, they were greeted by Inspector Lestrade, a familiar face in their pursuit of justice. "Lestrade, what can you tell us about the potential sighting?" Holmes inquired, his voice filled with urgency. The inspector motioned for them to follow him into a dimly lit room. Maps, photographs, and newspaper clippings adorned the walls, forming a visual tapestry of the Vanishing Villain's exploits. In the centre of the room, a large table held a detailed diagram of the city, marked with locations where the elusive criminal had struck. Lestrade pointed to a particular area on the map. "We received reports of a series of strange occurrences in this district, Holmes. People claim to have seen a figure resembling the Vanishing Villain, accompanied by sudden gusts of cold air." Holmes studied the map intently, his finger tracing the path of the reported sightings. "There appears to be a pattern here, Lestrade. The Vanishing Villain seems to be focusing their activities in this specific neighbourhood. We must investigate further." As they left Scotland Yard, Holmes and Watson ventured into the district described by Lestrade. The streets were lined with quaint shops and bustling crowds, but an air of unease permeated the atmosphere. It was as if the vanishing villain's presence lingered, waiting to strike again. Holmes approached a shopkeeper who nervously recounted a recent encounter. "I saw them, sir, a figure cloaked in darkness, disappearing right before my eyes, and the cold air, it sent a shiver down my spine," Watson interjected, seeking more details. "Did you notice anything specific about the direction they took, or any peculiar behaviour?" The shopkeeper scratched his chin, deep in thought. "Well, they seemed to vanish towards the old theatre. The place has been abandoned for years, but lately strange noises have been heard coming from within." Holmes's eyes lit up with intrigue. "The old theatre, you say? It seems our elusive criminal has found a hideout in the heart of the district. Watson, we must investigate." Under the cover of darkness, Holmes and Watson stealthily approached the decaying theatre. Its dilapidated facade loomed before them, its broken windows whispering of forgotten stories. They cautiously entered, guided by the faint sounds echoing through the deserted halls. As they ventured deeper into the theatre's labyrinthine corridors, the temperature dropped, and a chilling breeze brushed against their faces. They followed the ethereal gusts, their senses heightened, until they reached a hidden chamber, concealed behind a rotting tapestry. Inside the chamber, they discovered an elaborate setup, a workshop filled with intricate disguises, escape contraptions, and blueprints of the city's most secure locations. It was a veritable den of the vanishing villain's operations. Holmes examined the blueprints, his mind racing to piece together the puzzle. "Watson, it appears our criminal has meticulously planned their heists, exploiting the city's vulnerabilities and vanishing without a trace." As they absorbed the scene before them, a chilling voice reverberated through the chamber. "Impressive, Mr. Holmes, but I'm afraid your deductions end here." The vanishing villain emerged from the shadows, their features concealed beneath a veil of darkness. With a wicked smile, they vanished before their eyes, leaving Holmes and Watson standing in awe. Holmes's determination hardened. "Mark my words, the vanishing villain. Your reign of deception ends now. We shall pursue you relentlessly until we bring you to justice." Undeterred by the criminal's escape, Holmes and Watson carefully examined the workshop, collecting any evidence that could aid in their pursuit. As they gathered clues, an unexpected discovery caught Holmes's attention. A notebook filled with detailed observations and plans. "Watson, look at this," Holmes exclaimed, holding up the notebook. "It seems our criminal has meticulously documented their escapades, leaving behind a trail of insights and vulnerabilities." Back at Baker Street, Holmes delved into the notebook's contents, analysing the vanishing villain's recorded exploits. He deciphered intricate codes, studied cryptic symbols, and pieced together a web of connections. Each entry shed light on the criminal's meticulous methodology, offering a glimpse into their twisted psyche. Days turned into weeks as Holmes and Watson tirelessly pursued leads, tracking down witnesses and investigating the vanishing villain's past. Their efforts revealed a complex network of accomplices and hidden lairs. But no matter how close they seemed to be, the criminal always managed to slip through their fingers. The pursuit intensified, with the vanishing villain escalating their audacious heists. Each crime was a work of art, leaving authorities and experts baffled by the seemingly impossible disappearances. The city held its breath, awaiting Holmes's next move. Then, a breakthrough. A witness came forward with crucial information. A former associate of the vanishing villain, consumed by guilt and remorse, revealed the location of their secret hideout, a remote mansion on the outskirts of London. Holmes and Watson, armed with newfound knowledge, embarked on their most perilous journey yet. They travelled through the foggy countryside, the weight of their mission heavy upon their shoulders. The old mansion loomed in the distance, its eerie silhouette beckoning them closer. Inside the mansion's dimly lit halls, they confronted the vanishing villain in a final showdown. The criminal stood before them, an enigmatic figure, ready to defend their ill-gotten empire. With unwavering resolve, Holmes stepped forward. "Your game ends here, vanishing villain. Your web of deception has entangled too many innocent lives. The vanishing villain smirked, their eyes gleaming with malevolence. "Ah, Mr. Holmes, you are a worthy adversary, but can you truly catch what cannot be caught?" With a flourish, the criminal vanished once more, leaving Holmes and Watson in an empty room. But this time, Holmes was prepared. Through his meticulous investigation, he had uncovered the secret behind the vanishing villain's disappearances. Holmes's eyes focused on a hidden mirror, strategically placed to create illusions of vanishing. He deduced the precise mechanism that enabled the criminal to manipulate their surroundings and deceive even the most observant onlookers. As the vanishing villain reappeared, confident in their mastery of illusion, Holmes shattered their deception. "Your tricks may have fooled others, but they are child's play to me." With a swift motion, Holmes revealed the hidden mirror, disrupting the criminal's elaborate scheme. Cornered and defeated, the vanishing villain's facade crumbled. As the authorities arrived to apprehend the criminal, Holmes turned to Watson. "Another puzzle solved, my dear friend. The city can rest easy now, free from the grip of the vanishing villain." And so, the tale of the vanishing villain came to a close. But the legend of Sherlock Holmes and his relentless pursuit of justice continued to captivate the imaginations of generations to come.